Hey folks, good evening. So I want to take some time today, do something a little different, do some draw steel. I've been meaning to play this darn game for months. Um, got a group of people who are interested. Everyone's running in different directions. I'm just gonna have to put my foot down and pick a date, and whoever can make it can make it. Um, So it's really on me in the end. But that being said, I keep putting money in this system. So I am motivated to play it someday. So the latest thing I put money on was the Codex, basically the Draw Steel VTT. So what I want to do is compare what we have with Foundry to what we have with Draw Steel, Codex, and kind of compare the two and the pluses and minuses at this time. Um, yeah, so let's start with Foundry, right? So Foundry has their own, fan based, I guess you would call it, rule set that is constantly worked on by some dedicated folks. And long story short, it works pretty well, right? This is just a splash screen I made. Um, it does everything that you would expect Foundry to do, right? If you've used Foundry before, there's no surprises here, right? I manually created some of the maps, right? I did purchase the actual, even on my backer, and got this module as part of the Codex VTT. I did buy it separately when it was on sale, so I could take the maps and everything and chuck it into Foundry easy enough, right? So yeah, I mean, obviously, like everything else, you got to do it manually, right? You got to do what you got to do to build your dungeon. But you have all the, we'll say, system agnostic modules that you want to put into Foundry is there for you, right? Um, these are the actors, but if you go into here, right, all the monsters are there, right? They don't have they don't have cool icons per se, not a graphical icon. It's just little symbols. So you got to put your own icons on it if you want to have a sexier graphic for your monsters. But this doesn't do bad for me, to be quite honest, at least for the short term. So you have all of this. You have your classes, right? With all their subclasses and features and everything. Now this is the last version of Draw Steel that works on version 13 of Foundry. There is one that works with 14. I will probably upgrade my PC soon to 14 since now all my games are on the cloud in the Forge anyway, right? So I can continue the Forge on 13. I can have my own personal PC on 14. One reason I did this, well, there's a lot of reasons I did that. I finally ponied up the money for the Forge, even though I could run it from my own PC. But that being said, this way I have a test area where I can see when I'm satisfied enough with 14 that I could bring my cloud version up to 14 that everybody is playing on currently. But everything you would want here is here, right? So in that sense, yeah, it they did a great job. That's all I can say. I have zero complaints. So with that, let's switch to the other side of the fence, which is running the Draw Steel Codex, right? So let's do that. Let's kill this. I want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of everything that I can here for a second. That's good enough. And let me switch my window. Okay. So it's set to full screen, so it's going to be really big here in a second. So my apologies. Where are you, my bad boy? There you are. And I want to, before I start it, and you're going to see where this is going. I want to put this up for a second. So this is my stats for my PC. Um, it's a pretty decent PC for this day. It's certainly a few years old, with the up in prices since the whole AI, RAM is ridiculously expensive. Um, it's not 100% cutting edge, bleeding edge, whatever you want to call it, right? But I mean, I got 32 gigs of RAM. I've got well, I should get rid of this SATA drive from my C drive. But that aside, I've got, a fast drive for my D drive. What I really want to point out is my GPU. So I do have a Radeon RX 5500 XT. It's running a little bit. Usually it's pretty quiet, but because I'm running this recording and some other stuff, it's has a bit of a heartbeat. But that being said, I want to point out, for this day and age, this Radeon 5500 can run pretty much, I don't want to say everything that you want, because that's not true. I have, I can run Helldivers with it. It will push it a bit, but it runs it, no real problems. If I wanted to run something ridiculous, like probably No Man's Sky or something like that, it would certainly choke. But that being said, oops, I want to keep that there. It's a pretty decent size GPU for this day and age. So you're going to probably know where this is going. So let me start up Draw Steel. And it is set for full screen mode. And it's going to fire up. Bink, there it goes. And you can see right off the top, my GPU is pegged. I think this comes down in a second. No? I thought it did in the splash screen. But it definitely took a bit of RAM. But the GPU is pegged. I'll run as director. And you can see, since I'm a backer, I've got, the whole thing here. And it's calming down for a second, was low, but it's going to peg again. And there it goes. So it's using pretty much the GPU. It's using the vast dedicated memory. It's probably gobbled up. I think I was around 11 to start this video. I think it was 11.1. I'm up to almost 17 gigs. So 17 minus 11. Yeah, I'm gobbling up about 6 gig of memory here, and the majority, a good 7, or so there. Right there, 6.7. So, out of the box, it's beefy, right? It looks beautiful. Don't get me wrong. And that's why it's beefy, right? So one thing I definitely want to point out, to be fair to these guys, is that, and I do point out, at least on one of the videos I watch, you definitely want to go to your settings. Just pop that up there. Fudge. Oh, stay. Well, I'll switch back and forth. So it's pretty much pegged there. If I basically go to my graphics, okay, well, whatever, and I take this down to no VSync, right, you can see I take the graphics down from pegged 33%. Yep. And if you want to turn these down as well, I think if I turn them all down, I'll pretty much quiet the graphics card. 5 and 3. Yeah, okay. Give me a second here. Come on, honey. Come back. All right, dipped it and brought it back. All right, well, you can play with it. Certainly if I go here and just do something like that and turn them all off. Fudge. Wrong one. Here we go. All right, so I went from pegged down to 22%. You know, if I go back to here again, we'll make it, was I on 30? I was I on 60? Let's see if that does anything. Come back to me. Oh, I guess it was on 30. So I still quiet it down to about a quarter of my GPU. I was starting out around 5 or 10, I think it was, because I'm running OBS and a couple of things for this video. So net, I'm probably running at an extra 10% GPU. Dedicated memory is still there, right? It didn't make much dent on that. So keep in mind, this thing looks pretty good, but it is hitting your system a little bit on the harder side. Whereas if with Foundry, you're not going to see that. I just want to point that out. Also, there's lots of videos that gives you the full run view. This is more of a what's good and bad versus the other. Go to MSDM or MCDM, as well as some other videos that are out there. They'll be glad to show you all the clicks and stuff like that, which I'm still going through. I think I'm going through about halfway or a little bit more than halfway on one of the videos. But do keep in mind, this is going to be putting a little pressure on your system. That being said, if you're on Steam anyway and you're getting your games off of Steam, odds are you don't have like a bottom of the line PC. Maybe that's just me. I could be full of crap, but I do want to keep that in mind for you. So let me go back here for a second and just kind of give a quick summary. I'm going to turn display. I want to switch displays. Let's go to that one. Maybe. No? Pretty please with, let's try one more time. Oh, that's why. Because I gotta do... No, I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. There we go. We'll do it this way. This makes it a little bigger. Sure. So I made a quick outline for me to read, right? 24 words or less. But I did want to kind of give a quick summary. So real quick, with Foundry versus Draw Steel's Codex, right? The pros, can I make this max? Come on, Paul. What are you doing? I don't know what I'm doing. We'll just keep it here and keep this moving. We're almost done anyway. So real quick, right? With Foundry, you have that lower entry cost, right? Basically, if you own Foundry already, your cost is 0. You have a free rule set that's part of Foundry, that is fan made. It has a lot of the bells and whistles for character sheets, this, that, and other thing. I'm not going to say it's very well guided that you would get from Draw Steel, and that's certainly one of the pluses of Draw Steel, but it's there for you. It's there for you, and it's free, right? Assuming you own Foundry, right? And more importantly, as I'll get to in a second, it's free for the people who are playing with you. So hang on to that thought. Obviously, with the Foundry, you have all of the custom options that you would have for any other Foundry system agnostic module, right? It's all there for you. The cons of Foundry, of course, is you're doing it all manually as a DM or director or whatever you want to call yourself, right? GM. There's no automation for the most part for those rules. You got to remember everything for Draw Steel, which, since it's probably new to most people, unless you're playing it regularly, you're going to have to like probably grind through it a little bit to get your head around the new rules, and you know, like for any other new system that you're playing. For draw steel, of course, you have a lot of an opposite here. If you've gone through any of the videos, you do get that rules automation. I saw you could throw people against walls, and it's automatically going to count for you what the damage is going to be and do the spins and all that sexy stuff. There was no doubt it is put together well. It is well automated. It looks really, really nice. No doubt about it. If you're a backer, this is cheap, right? And you'll see in the cons, I guess some of that's kind of a pro and con, but if you're a backer, it's ridiculously cheap. I think it's whatever. I paid like 68 cents for it, right? I think it was. I think it's currently $20 as opposed to $30 that's eventually going to go for, and I got $20 off. I just had to pay tax. What can I tell you? So if you're a backer, just grab your code and just go grab it. You know, you're going to miss $1, you'll use it someday, maybe. If not, you're out 68 cents. It can be a resource hog out of the box, right? Keep that in mind. I would think that a lot of people are going to want to tone down some of those settings on their system. Maybe it's just me, but I doubt it, right? If it's hitting my graphics card that hard, something somewhere needs to be tweaked. That being said, it did just come out 2-3 days ago. I'm sure they can work on optimizing it and, you know, quieting that down. But yeah, I was surprised how hard it hit my system, especially my graphics card. It is a high cost point as time goes on for people trying to enter the system. So what I mean by that, draw steel is new. If you backed it, and you get the darn thing right now, the VTT is ridiculously cheap, right? No doubt about it. However, you can easily see a day down the road, or even if you want your friends to play and they didn't buy the rules, right? I've got lots of people I know on my Discord server. They're interested. Some have bought the rules. Some didn't buy the rules. Draw Steel's Codex is not browser-based in any way, shape, or form. You have to pay for the Codex. That means everyone who wants to play has to put up $20 or $30, whatever the final cost is going to be. I think I saw they were potentially thinking about having like discounted, you know, packs. Well, if you want to buy it for 5 of your players, they'll let you buy 5 at a discounted rate. That being said, if you know 5 people who'd be interested and none of them own Draw Steel, that's a $100 outlay that the group has to make in some way, shape, or form just to get them to play. And then if they play it and you don't like it, $20, $30, whatever it turns out to be, right? Yeah, not cheap. Not cheap. I understand why they did that. I get it. It is nice. I mean, I guess in the D&D RPG realm, people are used to sharing rules, books, whatever it might be, in that system, because usually we're all around a table and it's like, hey, here's the book, right? So that cost method of people are used to paying or not paying has obviously spilled over in the digital world. Whether that's fair or not, it's another story, but it is what it is. So with Foundry, you don't have that. With like Roll20, you wouldn't have that. With this system, everyone's going to have to put out a little bit of money to get the VTT if you want to use the Codex. So it is what it is. But for those of us who came in at the ground level, it's dirt cheap. Go get it. It does look good. If you want to peg your system, right? It looks absolutely gorgeous. Like I said before, that being said, how many people want to run that. And keep in mind, when I was running that and my system was being hit pretty hard, at least the graphics card, that was just me in director mode, right? I don't have, 4 to 6 people, whatever you have in your group, coming over to my PC and doing our thing, right? So there's even more load that's going to be on my PC if I was playing that, right? Because you have all those people coming in and out of your system to do that. So keep that in mind as well. Obviously, I'm still finding a group, so we kind of sort of have one. We just got to pick a darn date, like I said. But at any rate, when those 5 people, if they all have the Codex, it'd be real interesting to see how much load that puts on to load I'm already putting on my PC. So definitely, 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 when you turn this on, look to those settings, turn a lot of them down depending on your system, and from their point, it won't look quite as gorgeous, but it's a well put together system. It looks like it will run fine. It won't be spellbinding, binding with all the extra graphics, but right now they're just not ready to. They just don't have that optimized. Let's just be honest. Otherwise, it looks good. So that's my quick and dirty 20-minute review ish of the Codex versus Foundry. Someday we will run Delirium Tomb. I don't think all my folks are backers, because it's probably going to be on Foundry, but I would love to kick the Codex wheels and see how that really goes. So we'll see. Baby steps. That's about it. Have a good night.